Everyone, today is Friday, April 4th, 2025. My name is Richard Candia. I'm a business development manager for Florida Lamar Corporation. We're a GC company here in South Florida, but I'm also a board member of the South Dade Chamber of Commerce. And this is the South Dade Shoutout. South Dade Shoutout is where most every week we introduce you to a member of our chamber. We get to know them. We get to learn a little bit about how they help make our community better. We hear their story and we understand how they help make South Dade the place to live, work, play, pray, and thrive. And today we have a story. It's a multi-generational story. It's a family business story. It's about an iconic brand. It's a real American story. This is a story about Peterson's Harley Davidson in South Dade. And we're joined by my friend Craig Garrett. He's a general manager of Peterson's Harley Davidson South, and he's going to help me tell that story. Morning, Craig.
Good morning, man. I appreciate you having me on today.
Well, I'm really grateful because I got to tell you, this is way out of my normal comfort zone. So let's talk a little bit about how we got to know each other. First, let's do the basics.
Absolutely.
How long have you been a rider?
I have been riding since I was about 5 years old on the dirt, so 30 years.
Is that a typical story of a Harley Davidson owner?
For the most part, we do have a lot of new beginner riders as well, but
Okay.
a good large majority has been riding for a long time.
We're gonna dance around what a regular normal Harley Davidson rider is, because I think we're gonna get to a point where people are gonna be surprised. So, how long have you been a professional in the motorcycle business?
I've worked for Harley Davidson for 15 years.
Just Harley Davidson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and with Peterson's?
I've been with Peterson's for almost 11 months.
Okay, what was it? Was it a move to South Florida that made you?
Moved to South Florida, gave me the opportunity to come work for the family. I did a lot of research in South Florida on Harley Davidson dealerships, and I just believed in the passion and the brand that Peterson's Harley Davidson had, so I chose to pursue a career opportunity with those guys.
You have been working in the motorcycle industry for, again, you said
15 years.
years. Why just Harley Davidson?
It's very interesting how I got into the brand. And once I did it for a part-time gig for a short amount of time and fell in love with the community and fell in love with the customers and what Harley Davidson stands behind, and just made that a life decision to be my career path.
And it's something about the machine as well. Is it?
It's the machine, but it's more the camaraderie among riders. The camaraderie among riders is just something that's contagious that you don't understand till you're part of.
Okay, so we're going to try really hard to stay away from stereotypes, but you
Absolutely.
can't help brushing up against it, because that's something that I kind of feel and hear all the time as well. Harley Davidson riders are Harley Davidson riders because of exactly what you said.
That's right.
Are we all Harley Davidson fans and we just don't know it yet? Is that kind
I
of
definitely believe so. I truly believe every person probably would enjoy being behind the handlebars of a Harley Davidson. They just might not know it.
Uh-huh.
We have tons of different ways to give you that experience. I won't say it's for everybody, but it's definitely for a lot of them.
So we are coming up to a very important anniversary, a very important date.
That is correct.
What is it?
So we are celebrating 71 years in business with Peterson's Harley Davidson South in the Miami area. So, like you said, a 3-generation business, which is really awesome. 71 years of doing business in South Dade. The community has definitely been able to bless us with that opportunity, and we're very excited to give back with a big community party this weekend.
So you're seeing how connected we are here. You mentioned that, and Amber immediately threw up the flyer, so that was super helpful. Thank you, Amber. So 1954, Mr. Peterson gets the opportunity to open up the first store in South Florida.
That is correct.
And by then Harley Davidson was getting into middle age.
That's right. They were 51 years old at that point.
Right. Where was his first store at?
In Key West.
In Key West.
Yes.
Something about Key West that made sense.
So Mr. Peterson had he was in the Navy, in the U.S. Navy, and fought for our country. When Harley Davidson approached him, they saw that there was a need around the Navy base in Key West, and was able to put an opportunity available. As you know, and most folks know, Harley Davidson and the military go hand in hand. and support each other very strongly.
Um, how do they go hand in hand? Is it partly the ridership, but is also what the community does for the?
I think Harley Davidson as a whole has always supported the military,
Mhm.
and with that support, military men and women really enjoy the brand, really enjoy riding the bikes, really enjoy that brotherhood, sisterhood that they get. I Even when they step away from the military, either and go non-active or retire, I feel that they can find that community feel that they got when they were in the military with our other riders. So I do see people gravitate to the brand for those reasons.
Like I said, we're going to be staying away from stereotypes, but we just can't help brushing up against it. No,
That's right.
I love it. Okay, so let me dive a little bit more into the machine aspect of it. Mr. Peterson, I imagine I read a little bit of his bio. He was a bike rider,
He was a bike rider,
competitive bike
an
rider.
avid racer, absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually raced for Indian before he got the opportunity to open his Harley store and race for Harley Davidson. Um, just decided one day that was the path he wanted to go, and his wife gave him 1 year to see how competitive he was. He won several championships and off to the races after that.
That was a mistake she made, right? So
A mistake or a great path.
there is a thread of cool through all of this. So that's one, that he was doing that, very cool.
That's right.
Two, and he stayed as a competitive racer for a while.
For years, and then that went through his family as well with his sons. Absolutely, they had a race team for years.
So when he opened up the store in Key West in the 50s, he was what, in his 30s?
In his 30s, yes, sir.
So that's a rough and tough kind of crowd, ex-military. So that helped, the racing helped give him kind of a presence. I would
Absolutely,
imagine.
absolutely.
I'm just conjecturing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I would also think, with his Navy career as well. Obviously,
Mhm.
those things kind of go hand in hand. They're buying from and doing business with somebody that served the same way they did.
Yeah, and
So I
they
think
can
that
relate.
definitely, yeah, is very relative for sure.
And then also, hey, I stand behind this bike. I race this bike, and okay. So why this bike? I also, again, the thread of cool we're talking about. I did a little bit of research, and there's a whole heck of other motorbikes that started around the same time, maybe certainly post World War II, that have really good histories. Kawasaki, Honda. Kawasaki, not so much as Honda. Um, why then Harley Davidson versus the other machines?
Well, I think that all brands make a very solid machine, and there is a butt for every seat. Um, a lot of us, including myself, started on a non-Harley Davidson brand as we grew into the motorcycle community, and honestly, most people do. Once they build that and understand the rider and understand what that looks like, then you slowly see what Harley Davidson brings to the table. And I'll be honest with you, I believe that everybody wants a Harley Davidson. They just might not know it yet.
Exactly. I think we're going to put that on a shirt. Also, we have to be honest that none of the other brands capture the imagination like a Harley Davidson does.
When you buy a Harley Davidson, you don't just buy a motorcycle. You're buying into a family. You're into a community. It is a complete lifestyle, if you will. You're almost buying a lifestyle. There's a t-shirt, there's the hat, there's the helmet, there's the leather jacket. It's all those things that really make it who you are. When you pull up to the red light and that guy or girl in the car beside you gives you the nod,
Really?
you just know.
It's like the Jeep drivers.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's cool.
Absolutely.
See, I don't have any of those things, man. All right.
We can fix that.
My wife isn't as cool as Miss Peterson. Okay. Movies like The Wild One, Marlon Brando, super cool, super iconic. Who doesn't want to be like that?
That's right.
The other one was Easy Rider with Peter Fonda and Jack Nicholson. Maybe not Jack Nicholson so much with the football helmet, but certainly Peter Fonda, super cool.
That's right.
And Pulp Fiction, Terminator. So, give me your thoughts on then. We know what the brand is, and the brand has gone through ups and downs, and now the brand is super strong. We're known worldwide.
That's right.
But Mr. Peterson, his family, they've done something for 71 years. So what is it about his vision that supported say, that supported the motorbike community that you talk about?
I believe in any business, you can do things the right way, or you can do things the wrong way. And Mr. Peterson and his family have always done things here in South Florida the right way by making sure to take care of the community first, take care of the police officers, the military, first responders around them. And with that support that they have given the community for so long, the community has supported them back by making sure to do business with these guys. And that is why you see such longevity there. Unfortunately, in the state of business now, it's hard to see a third generation business. We talked a little bit about that offline. And, when you look back at it, we all have motorcycles in our stores. We all have shirts and helmets and jackets in our stores. But the difference, the true difference, is the community inside that store. Each employee, each person that filled out a job application that chose to make Peterson's Harley Davidson South their home brings into the brand and the loyalty of who we are as a business. And the community feels that. When you walk into my store, like I told you before, unless you walk in, you just won't know. Mm-hmm. But there's an energy when you come in, and that is contagious.
We're going to talk about that as well. Embarrassing for me. Okay, so same question. Mr. Peterson's vision, the family's vision, how has that helped with the education of bike riders? There's a community, so the folks like myself that are living next to the community of bike riders.
Yep. So we have a Riders Academy that we help host. We co-host that with another company that gives you a 3-day course for a beginner rider course. Starts teaching you the basics of how to ride a motorcycle. Starts teaching you the basic functionality of those things. Once you take the class, you're not a professional, right? You're definitely a novice at that point, but you understand how to shift through the gears, how to use the clutch, how to brake the machine. And then that's your first step. Then we get you on the motorcycle, get you out there riding in a safe community, and then you start building experiences.
Same question. The importance of Peterson's Harley Davidson, the family's vision, the family's way of doing things. How has that influenced their support of the South Dade community?
I believe when Mr. Peterson was alive, everything that he did was to support the community. Tons of charity rides that we host or co-host with other organizations, different things that we've opened our doors up to be able to host, whether it's toy drives or scholarship drives or clothing drives or any and all of those things that the Petersons have just said yes. When people come and ask, can we be a part of this, or would you like to be a part of this, or can you give us a safe place to be able to host these things? It was always a yes. And being able to support the community through those things, I definitely think has given the store the longevity that it's had.
Interesting. Amber, would you throw up the flyer again, please? How are we celebrating this weekend then? So 71 years. I mean, it's not the 25 and not 75, but 71 years. Nothing lasts that long in South Florida. We're not that kind of community yet.
That's right.
So 71.
71 years. So this weekend, we're very excited. We have a couple of the different events going on this weekend. Tonight, we have a bike night here at our store. That'll consist of, opening our house. Just imagine it being an open house, being able to come into the store. Everybody is welcome to our store at any time, families, friends. We'll have, we're doing an audio sound competition tonight and tomorrow, which is going to be really cool. So in the Harley Davidson world, customization is very high in the Harley Davidson space for sure. And some of these bikes that have come down, they're come down from Washington, D.C. and Connecticut and New York and Maryland and Philly and all these different places to come and showcase what their art. And that's building these custom motorcycles and making the audio just unreal. So tonight we'll have a small taste of that, and then a full show tomorrow. Tomorrow as well, we're going to have 5 stunt shows throughout the day. That's going to have several skilled riders from the Dade County community actually going to be on site and hosting 15-minute stunt shows. I highly suggest you bring your kids out, come check it out. Any of your family, it's really cool. Don't bring the wife because she's definitely not going to let you get a bike after that. These guys are going to be doing some rolling burnouts and wheelies and all kinds of different things. Wow. So it's going to be very exciting. We'll have food vendors there. We'll have on on-site vendors. We opened the community for other vendors that wanted to come. We do that a lot at our store. Every Saturday, we're always hosting something, but this is going to be a little bit more special.
What is audio? An audio test?
Stereo.
Oh, stereo.
Stereo.
Okay.
So, just imagine like drag racing, if you will, right? Everybody gets to the line and they race their cars, they race their motorcycles, and it's all about performance. This is a very similar style competition, but for stereo quality, clarity, cleanliness of the sound, the build itself, the art of itself. We'll also have a motorcycle show there. We'll be featuring motorcycles from completely factory to you can't even tell it's a Harley Davidson anymore.
A music system on wheels, really.
Music system on wheels.
Yeah. You every once in a while one of those pulls up next to you, and on one hand it's like, gee, turn it down. But then the other hand, like, that sounds good.
That's right. That's
right. So
if it sounds good, keep it up. If it don't sound good, turn it down.
And almost always the music is good. So Peterson's is bucking the trend that we were just touching on. Longevity, 71 years. Family owned and run. So you've got second generation with the third generation in the wing. I met Drake when I went to visit.
Yes, sir.
It's in their blood. It's in their, when I went to visit the store, their pictures all around, and it's not different riders and stock photos. These are pictures of.
Most of those are Mr. Peterson or the family.
Or the family.
Yes, sir. Most of those race photos are Mr. Peterson. Then you'll see family, the grandkids. You'll see them all over the store. The family or the store is truly a family business. It truly is. It's been in their blood for a long time, and we're just going to keep it going.
And it doesn't take away that this is a competitive market, not just Harley Davidson store versus another Harley Davidson store. It's Harley Davidson versus other motorbikes. And then when I asked you what's the main competition, you told me the main competition is?
It's what anybody else can use their discretionary income on, right? So vacations, hot tubs, swimming pools in the backyard, upgraded kitchens, all those things, right? Because nobody 100% needs anything that we sell. It's 100% a want-based item. Right, so your competition isn't what you would think, right? In the car world, it may be Ford versus Chevy, but in the Harley Davidson space, it's truly motorcycling or doing some upgrades around the house, doing something completely different, going on that vacation to Spain. You never know.
Right. Okay. So, but by the same token, the flip side is that the folks that you have are extremely loyal.
Extremely
loyal. Every other
brand
brand would love to have the loyalty that you guys have.
That's right.
The Harley Davidson. Okay, but also Mr. Peterson's shop itself is you guys have loyal
absolutely
base.
We have a huge customer base at the store. We have some customers that we see there as much as I see my employees. We make a joke about maybe you should just clock in. Some guys we see 4 or 5 days a week in the store. Absolutely. We have our coffee club, right? And they come and have some coffee and relax, and they have a table of knowledge that they all joke about the good old days. And, it's really good to sit down and listen to those guys and listen to their stories and listen to the stories that they can talk about Mr. P. And they, these guys have seen the store grow from, a small building in Key West to the 50,000 square foot building we have in Cutler Bay now.
What does, and I get this is a loaded question, but what does the typical Harley Davidson rider look like?
Human. People ask me that all the time, right? And we have all different types of riders. We train a lot on that because you can't speculate from the exterior vision, right? There's definitely a stereotype, if you will, when it comes to Harley Davidson, maybe some beard and a tattoo or something along those lines. But honestly, we have we have surgeons that ride motorcycles and lawyers and judges and police officers and first responders and construction workers. The one thing I really love, and we'll talk a little bit more about Harley Davidson and why, anybody and everybody is welcome to that brand. Male, female, any walk of life. It is truly a arms wide open. This is where you can come and express who you are and with no judgment. It's really cool. Well,
we go to back to the issue of the stereotype. We don't want to talk about stereotypes. That's not, we shouldn't live our lives that way, but you can't help brushing up against it. I told you the story about my brother is a metal fan.
Yep.
Metal rock fan. and he tells me that the concerts aren't anything like that you think they would be. That is the gentlest, most helpful audience, most helpful community. They're all just their brother, and they help each other. And
As long as you stay out of the mosh pit.
So they do that, but just enjoy the music, just enjoy the ride. I wanted to share the story with our folks, with our people, on how this came to be. Usually, I call our guest and kind of get a little bit, get some information on the background so I can prepare for it. And I in my mind, you were on the other line of the phone, like on the other side of the phone, saying, "God, this guy just doesn't get it." And you said, "Hey, come in."
That's right.
And I urge everybody to come into the store and to just check it out. It's massive. Why does Harley have so many different models?
Just like we talked about a second ago, we welcome all types of people into the store, every walk of life, right? So with that being said, you can find a model that fits your wants and needs the most, right? We talk about features and advantages and benefits when we talk about how to sell a motorcycle, how to find you the right bike. And each one of those models have different features, advantages, and or benefits to make that riding style you. So Harley Davidson offers over 15 different models of motorcycles, different sizes, different shapes, different accessory opportunities, if you will. And that's why, you might have somebody that really wants to ride that small bike in a round towner, and they might get a Sportster or a Softail Standard, or you might have somebody that wants to ride from Miami to Sturgis, and maybe an Ultra Limited or a Street Glide or a Road Glide might be their best option. You have guys and gals that have been riding for 30 to 50 years, and maybe it's not as easy to hold up that motorcycle anymore. So now we offer 3 different models of trikes, and they're fantastic. A lot of people say, "Oh, not old enough to ride that yet." I've never had anybody say, "Man, I shouldn't have done that." They all say, "I should have done that 10 years sooner."
That's funny. Okay, so Amber did me a favor and threw up a picture. What is that a picture of?
So that is the storefront, the original storefront of the Key West store.
And what's really, really cool about that, Amber, when you go to the store, you'll love this. All those bikes on that side of the store, it's like a little museum, no?
Like a little museum of Mr. P's collections. Yes, sir.
But you can go back, and this is a model back in 1950 whatever, 1960 whatever, and you could see the progression of how things changed. You don't appreciate the inside, the V, the motor, the engine. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. So each one of those motorcycles is just just shows you the lineage of who Harley Davidson is and how and where it has become. There's still models on the floor that look very similar to those now that are just a little bit upgraded, right? Harley Davidson is known for its sound, right? And it's known from the V-twin motor. A lot of people have tried to copy that, but nobody has been successful.
No kidding.
It is a very well known recognized sound. Absolutely.
Amber, could you go to the next picture, please? And we're going to help people understand, what does this mean?
All right, so that's a Fast Johnny motorcycle with the pig painted on the side, right? So Harley Davidson has a huge racing legacy, if you will, and everything Harley Davidson stood on and was actually built around racing, which is very cool. Most people now think of Harley Davidson as the cruiser, and they think of the other brands as more of that race motorcycle, because that's what you see on the racetrack. Harley Davidson now has a King of the Baggers race team and a whole circuit, which is very cool. They have a hooligan race. But this guy right here, he kind of represents that history of Harley Davidson racing, right? Without that, Harley Davidson wouldn't be what it is today, or it might not even be standing. I think with that, being able to get the knowledge out there on the racetrack and get that excitement and that adrenaline pumping in your veins, that's what drives people back to the store.
Is that where the Hog name came from? I know.
Yeah, so you got Hog, right? Harley's Owners Group, which is a international group of motorcycle enthusiasts that all own Harley Davidsons. They do rallies all over the United States and in other nations as well, which is really, really cool. Some state and regional rallies where all like-minded people come together and be able to celebrate this brand that they've loved for years.
Awesome. Okay. The other thing that impressed me was the size of the service department.
Yes, sir.
Huge.
Yes, sir.
So take your bike in for tune-ups, but also to customize. You can do it there as well.
Tune-ups or customization, whatever you need. We'll do anything from putting new hand grips on the motorcycle to putting 135 race engine into your motorcycle, changing wheels, the audio, which we talked about a little bit earlier, stereo. That's probably one of our major upgrades that people love to do. People love adding different exhausts to the bike to be able to accentuate that sound a little bit more, which is really cool. Upgraded handlebars. If you can dream it, we can do it on your Harley Davidson.
Wow. So then 71 years, what is it that Peterson's has that other stores may be lacking?
The one answer I can say for that is it's truly, Mr. Peterson and his family have such a passion for the brand. They have done a very good job of pushing that passion down to everybody that's in the store, all the front-facing people. And we are very particular on how we choose the people that represent who Peterson's Harley Davidson South is. And with that, the community feels that, right? So I think that you can't just throw anybody into the store and it'll be successful. You can't put it into the best market and it'll be successful. It truly has to feel a certain way when you walk into the store. It's got to be welcoming, and people's got to appreciate the brand and appreciate what Harley Davidson does. And you got to get those like-minded people in the business. And when you do that, it helps.
Okay, so let's say I get permission and I go buy a bike, but I don't have anyone to ride with.
Yep.
How do I?
So what's awesome about when you buy a new motorcycle, you do get a membership to the Harley Owner Group, right? And with that, that'll open up a couple different ways for you to be able to get out into the local community and ride. We at Peterson Harley Davidson South also do a Sunday ride every single Sunday. It's called the Breakfast Run. We have a club, they call themselves the Breakfast Club, and they ride, to the Keys, or they ride up north or maybe out west a little bit and do a breakfast run. It's for all riders, whether you ride a Harley Davidson or any brand. Everybody is welcome. It's really cool. It's a great camaraderie, and it's a good way to get into the brand. It's a good way to get into the riding. You might meet somebody there that you want to do some one-on-one riding with, or maybe a group of 4, As you learn to ride, I would tell you to ride in those smaller groups first and then be able to branch out into those bigger groups for sure.
A lot of riders in South Dade?
A lot of riders in South Dade, yes, sir.
You were telling me that there's a very popular run is going down to the Keys, for example.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sounds nice.
Yes, sir. For years, Mr. Peterson and his family had a poker run that went down to the Keys. That was attended by people from all over the United States, and and they talked about it for years, and we'd like to bring that back. It's a huge run, a weekend, kind of go down to the Keys and spend some time and just celebrate the brand and celebrate each other. And we want to bring that back. It should be really cool.
I get that. You were telling me, and I think I'd heard this before, people really get serious about their rides. So I live here, and I hear there's good riding, nice roads up in Montana.
Yep.
And so you guys can help arrange to ship my bikes up there?
Absolutely, absolutely. We actually have
there's tours.
A group of about 7 people this week riding Route 66 that are all here from South Dade. So we have some people on staff that will build these rides, if you will, these custom rides. And we plan everything, the hotel stays, and step by step, each piece of it. We actually shipped the motorcycles up to Route 66, and then they're going to spend, I believe, 5 or 6 days riding, somewhere around 1,800 miles. To be a really good time.
Kidding.
We did a border to border ride a couple of months ago from the border of Mexico all the way up to Canada.
Oh, that way, north-south.
North-south. They had, I think they had between 13 to 15 riders on that, which was a really cool one. They spent a week just riding motorcycles, going from 105 degrees in the desert to, needing heated gear when they got a little further north, for sure.
And you're just riding, enjoying the feel, enjoying kind of the liberty. It must feel kind of nice not having, at least.
It's one of your last freedoms.
Yes,
it surely is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's truly one of your last freedoms.
So the celebration. Oh, you're doing something else for South Dade Chamber. You're doing.
Yes.
When is that? When is that?
April 17th. We're doing a meet and greet, if you will, a happy hour to support the South Dade Chamber of Commerce golf tournament. So that's going to be at our Tiki Hut on site. It should be a really good time. I believe it's from 5 to 7. So and everybody's welcome to that. It should be a really good time.
you guys, I'm really happy that you're part of the chamber, and I'm really happy that folks can come and get to know a little bit more about something that may have not have even really considered.
That's right.
They're just there, right? So let's go over the details again for the events this weekend.
Yes.
Well,
So tonight we have a bike night at the store starting at 5 o'clock. But you're more than welcome to come before then. We're gonna have some food vendors there. We'll have a bar set up. We'll have we'll have the store open. You'll be able to come in, sit on some motorcycles, try on some clothes, anything that you like there. Meet and greet our service team. Meet our parts department. Be able to see the whole facility. We're also doing a small sound competition tonight for the locals. It should be really cool for the more rideable motorcycles. And then tomorrow we'll be ready to rock and roll, kicking off at 10 o'clock in the morning with getting the audio show or the stereo competition off and running with multiple different classes of motorcycles. Some bikes that can't even really go down the road anymore. They're just a rolling stereo.
That's funny.
We'll have a stunt show starting, I believe, at 11:15 will be the first stunt show. And then every hour after that, they'll do a 15-minute show. Should be really cool. These guys are all local. So I'm very, one thing I'd like to do is like to bring as much local as possible in.
Well, I love it. My wife and I will be there. And I told you earlier, Craig, this is the coolest I felt in a long time.
There you go. Check out that shirt.
Look at that. Anyway, I thank you very much, Craig. This has been a lot of fun. And I urge everyone to get your bike on, get your Harley on, get on the, get in touch with something that you may have not ever thought about going. I got to tell you, I would have never stepped into the store without your introduction, without your invitation. And I urge people, don't do that. Don't wait for that invitation. Go see it. Go check it out. It's a big part of the community. And I can only wish much success to the Peterson family, to the third generation that's coming up. That's unlike anything we have in South Dade. So thanks for your time, Craig.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next week.